my previous videos. Today we're going to make this gnome Father's Day card using some Fawn stamps and some generic gnome stamps. We'll jump straight in. I hope you enjoy it. So we're going to start by stamping our images, and I'm going to use the Misti along with the Momento Tuxedo black ink. So I've got some a bug deal dies from Fawn that I'm going to use, a couple of the bugs and the small branch and the leaves. So I'll just take those out. Got a bit of card here. I'm just going to stick that in there. So again, Misti comes in so handy. So I'll just put the leaves on. Helps if I turn them the right way round. Don't make that mistake. And I think I will use this caterpillar and the worm and the ladybug. I love this little ladybug. There's also a ladybird with a little party hat on, which I haven't used yet, but I like this one without the party hat. And I'm going to use the speech bubble. So that's everything from that stamp set. I'm also going to use a small heart from Sweetest Flavour stamp set, so it's very tiny, and I'm going to stamp that a couple of times. So I will just ink those up. Ink those up, and I will just stamp them down. And I'm going to stamp the branches, the branch and the leaves a couple more times as well. So I'm just going to re-ink because that's not black enough for me. Want nice crisp images. It could be because I've got that there. Okay, so that's all the images that I wanted to stamp from that set, and I'm then going to stamp my gnomes. So I'm just going to take this bit of card here. My gnomes are... wrong one. My gnomes are just a generic set. They're not of any particular make that I'm aware of. So I'm going to take a couple of these gnomes. I'm going to take that one. This one. And this one. So that's the three gnomes that I'm going to stamp. Again, using my Misti. These need a couple of stamp re-inking to get them nice and bold. Okay, and that's those stamped. So I have my images all stamped out, and I'm now going to colour them. I will probably fast forward through this bit. I'll take some of my pens. I do use Arteza Everblend art markers for my colouring, as some of you will know if you've watched my previous videos. And I will go and colour these and come back when they're done. colouring them in, I have used my white gel pen just to go over the areas where I've gone outside of the lines. It just tidies it up a little. And I'm going to, off camera, run these through my big shot. So I will be back in just a second with the cut out images. Okay, so I have cut out the images from a bug deal using the Fawn bug deal dies. So that's in my little dish there. I've also used the dies to cut out, the corresponding dies to cut out the gnomes. Now you can see from here these also cut out extra little images that are attached to the gnomes. I don't want those on this occasion because these gnomes are actually Christmas gnomes and wrong time of year. So I'm going to trim some of the stars off some of these, and that's easy enough to do. So they cut out great. How cute are these? Love these gnomes. They have actually turned out a lot better than I was expecting. I bought them cheap from eBay, and I really like them, surprisingly. I didn't think I would. They are a little bit fiddly to colour in, but that's okay. Always something I'll get used to. Smaller images that need colouring in. So I'm just going to trim this. When it's on the card you can't really see that I've trimmed anything off. And I'm just going to trim this little star here. Still keeping that white border. So there you go. So I've got my gnomes all ready. I have used my gel pen and added a few little white lines to sort of lighten them up in areas. So I'll put those in there. I have also, off camera, cut out my frame. So I have this using my large square die. This is my largest square die that I have, and I've cut that out, and then using my smallest square die I've cut out the individual squares on it. Now it's difficult to line up. If you've got patterned paper that has lines on it, it's so much easier, but this one didn't. So I have used, I don't know if you can see that, there's stitched lines around the edge where the die has left. So I used those to line up my small square die on each of the corners, and I knew then that it should be, she says, as straight as possible. And the idea is that I will take each of these and pop them in. So we've got a bit of variation on the background pattern. So these three are going to have gnomes on them and a bit of a scene. This one is where I'm going to put my Happy Father's Day. This one is going to be my sentiment, so I'm going to leave that one up there. And I'm going to lay out my other ones. I think I quite like that one up there actually, so I might do it that way. The gnomes and the speech bubbles and the bugs, I'm going to use foam tape to stick those down, and I'm going to use the Tombow glue to stick down the branches and the leaves. So I've got my Tombow glue that I use, my Tombow liquid glue, which I do prefer to any other glue that I have tried. I've tried a few different ones, and this is just my favourite. I find it really easy, dries clear, so it's perfect for it. Just like it, the way that I can apply it. It's nice and thin nozzle on it. So this is going to go around about here, just hanging off the edge. I put this is a new one, so I keep forgetting. It's a new glue. I don't need to squeeze it as hard as some of them as my old one. So I'm just going to stick that down on the edge there. I want it to come off the edge because I want to trim it. I think it looks nice when you've trimmed it. It's picture continues off the page. I'm then going to take my scissors and some tape and stick the tape to the back of the ladybird and the gnome. Okay, I'm going to trim that a little because it's still too big. Again, this is my go-to tape. I've tried a few different ones and I really like this. It is expensive, but it lasts so long. There's so much in the big roll. I mean, I've probably used about a third of this big roll. And I've had it probably about 5 weeks now. I'll trim that a little. There's a little bit that went up there. I do try and use every little bit that I trim off. I'll stick that on the bottom. Is that there? And I'm just going to put this at the top. Okay, and my gnome's going to come in like that. So I'm going to stick down the ladybird. He's going to be sat on this branch like so. And I'll take the backing off of this cutie little gnome. Like so. So he's just going to peer in from the side there. Like that. And I'm just going to stick this tiny heart down. Just put a little bit of glue there and stick the heart there. Okay, that's that one. I will do this next. So I'll do this next one and I'm going to put the heart down first. A little bit of Tombow in this corner. On we go, just a tiny bit, heart in the corner, there we go. And then I will stick down the branch first. And just a little bit of glue. I do like this liquid glue, it is my favourite. If anybody has any other suggestions of adhesives, please put in the comments. I'm always looking for new products to use. I do use snail adhesive and double-sided tape as well for various different cards, but the liquid glue just gives me the sort of flexibility, I suppose, to be able to move things around once it's on the card. Whereas with the snail adhesive and the tape, once it's down, it's down. You can't move it around, which can be a bit frustrating if you're a bit like me and are not very good at getting things straight. Must do better, I think. So I'm going to put this worm down on the branch, stick him there. Yep, like that, and I'll put the little gnome in as well, just peeking from the right hand side of the little square. Got lots of little bits of foam tape on this one. I like to use all my little bits, so sometimes it can be covered in tiny bits that all need to have the backing taken off. There we go. I'll probably trim some of this off as well. So I'm going to have this little guy coming in from the side, probably about there. Yep. And then the speech bubble. Take the backing off of that one. And stick that in the corner. Now, I've not left myself enough room. I should have put that branch down a little bit. So I'm just going to move the worm. This is why it's always good to plan ahead. I'm going to move the worm over a little bit to there, and then the speech bubble will fit in the corner, like so. Okay, so that's that square. Got a bit of glue on my mat. And then I'll move on to the next one. So similar again, just lift that heart up. I'm going to put that in this little top corner. And I'm going to glue down this one leaf that's only 2 bits of gluing on this square because I've got foam tape on the rest of them. So I'm going to have this coming down in the corner and just like so. A little bit of glue coming out the side, that's fine, I can scrape it off. It does dry clear anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. And then I'll put my caterpillar on this one. I love this little caterpillar, it's so cute. I love all the bugs in this Long Fawn bug deal one. When you hear the word bugs, doesn't sound very cute, does it? But these characters are very cute, all of them. Okay, and then this little guy is going to be peering, so I'll have that there, and he's going to be just peering in from the side, like so. And I'll put the speech bubble down as well in the corner. Right, so that's those 3 squares done. Before I move on, I'm just going to go and trim the bits that are hanging off the square. So turn it over and just make sure that I get right up to the edge of the square and trim those off. Any little bits that are hanging off. I do try and not trim the square. Oh. Bit there, and that should be that one. Same with the yellow one, turn it over, trim off the excess, still a bit sticky. Got a bit of foam tape on this one, but that's okay, I'll just trim that off, edge of that leaf, and then edge of this little guy. That's it. And then this last one that I've just done, so I'll trim this leaf. I'll do the gnome first. Tiny bit in the corner there. And then the leaf. There we go. And they all fit perfectly onto the squares now. So the next thing I'm going to do is sort out the sentiment on this square here. So I'm going to, there's in the gnome stamp set, which I've got here, there is a little sentiment that says, "There's nobody like you." I'm going to use that, so I think that's quite appropriate for a Father's Day card. And I'm going to use my Misti to stamp this. Well, what I found with these stamps is you don't get a really clear impression the first time you stamp down, so the Misti is always a good tool to use so you can re-ink and get it nice and black. So I'm just going to put that there, lift it up with my door, get my Momento black ink and ink it up. And you'll see when I close this over, it's not completely covered, so you can still see through the words there. So I just want to do that again, and I may need to do it a third time, but let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to do it one more time and that should do it. Perfect. That looks good, doesn't it? So just take my Misti out of the way. I'm then going to add in a heat emboss sentiment saying Happy Father's Day. So I'm going to do it on this piece of black card, and I'm going to use the Fawn Happy stamp set, because there's a Happy Father's Day in there. So I've got the Happy and the Father's Day, and to make sure that it fits on here, it won't fit in one length, so I'm going to just line it up with the Happy at the top and the Father's Day at the bottom, just like that. Get that onto my block. So I'm then going to take my my embossing buddy, and just get lots of powder all over my black card. It does exactly what it's supposed to do and stops the embossing powder going anywhere that it shouldn't do. So this is my embossing ink. Just ink this stamp up, and then I will stamp this down where I want it. There, that looks good. Happy with that. So I use this coffee filter when I'm heat embossing, just to capture my powder. And I've watched loads of different videos. Everybody does it different ways. I saw one video that recommended coffee filters, and I've been using them ever since. So picked up that powder, and I'll just take my brush and I'll brush off any excess that I don't want. And then I take my coffee filter and just pour that back into my tub, like so. So off camera I'm going to heat emboss this sentiment, and I will be back in a second. Okay, so I've heat embossed it and I've cut it down into my desired shape, and I've put some foam tape on the back. So I'm just going to take this square and stick this down now. I'm not going to put it at the bottom. I'm going to leave some space at the bottom because I've got those hearts that I want to add. Need to try and get this in the middle, like so. Yep, that will do. And then I've got 3 wee hearts here that I'm just going to stick down. This is my take your pick tool. It's got this putty end, which I find really useful when doing sticking down little elements like this. So it just picks it up. Oops. Picks it up so easily. It's got a little bit of putty on the end, and if you want more putty, you just turn the end and it comes up. and it lasts quite a while actually, that putty. So as you can see, I don't want them straight, I want them just to be a bit higgledy-piggledy. And I'm just gonna, this is the other end of the take your pick tool, so it comes really pointy. I use this for piercing anything out of my dies that I've cut, and then this end is a spatula. I don't tend to use that much, I use this pointy end more. It also comes with another attachment which has got the two balls on the end, so a small one and a larger one for any scoring that you want to do. So I always have that to hand in case I want to use it. Right, so that's the 4 squares. I'm now going to put that onto my card base, and along with the frame. So I have a card base here which is 15 by 15 centimeters, and I'm just going to stick this frame down first. There is going to be a white border around the edge. Now that I have done that, I am going to take the squares and pop them in. So I think I want that one there, this one here, the blue one at the top, and then the sentiment here on the right. So I'm just going to take my Tombow again and glue the back of these and then stick them down. Find a little bit in the middle. Last square in the top. And that's our card done. So I could add a sentiment in the middle, but I've put Happy Father's Day on the front, so I'm not going to add that in. I will leave the inside blank for the sender to write their own message on this occasion. So that's the Gnome Father's Day card. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you have, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!